Hey, how are y'all doing? I know, another fun-filled review and feedback. This one is from All Things Zerg. It's about Zerg versus Protoss, so we'll go ahead and talk about it. The important part here is that it's above my MMR. So some of my advice may be good, some of it may not. We'll see. There are some interesting questions that were proposed by the player. Basically, they're getting to a certain point with like balls of stalkers and stuff like that, and they're just struggling with it. I am subbed to all things Zerg, Protoss, and Terran subreddits. So just fair warning, I get all of them all over the place. This just happened to be the Zerg series. They just keep posting them. So let's go ahead and jump right on into it. As you can see, they're Masters players. They are in the 3,800 range-ish area. The Protoss player is not the one we're focusing on, but you can see in the upper right-hand corner we have Gulaman in Protoss in red, and in the lower left-hand corner, Nighthawk in blue. Ha! Interestingly enough, actually, I did not know their MMRs before I clicked on it. I see it now, and they are actually below my best MMR rating. Not by much, by like 5, literally 5 MMR. So I've actually played in this range before. I do play in this range right now. And I'm fairly certain the name that I'm seeing today is also one that I have played in the past, which is interesting that I'm at that area with players that I'm playing against. They adjusted their build already. They already have taken into account the new build order structure. This is great, but they have no scouting for if there's a cannon rush or any of that kind of stuff. That being said, it is super early. This map does have all this space over here that they could cannon rush in, but you'd be able to adjust, improve, and handle it. You know, you pull enough workers, you can handle it. You could also see the first probe getting across the map. That was sent, I'm fairly certain, right after the first pylon. Leaving the Overlord here is what I like to do as well. I actually probably would have snuck it a little bit further over here to just see if it's there and then poke back, and probably hung out here to keep an eye out for that probe and make sure that if they are cannon rushing from like here, that I get some vision. Same with over here. It depends on how drunk I am and things like that when I play, if I'm going to get that kind of security and all that good stuff. Build looks good. You know, this is pretty normal. Expand hatch first, go into pool. I don't see anything funny, weird, or odd to this. This is exactly what I would have done in every situation. Their Zerg is a higher rating than mine. I understand why you do the specific things they're doing. They're placing their other Overlord over here. Yeah, I guessed it right. Because they're going to sneak in later with it just to see what their opponent is up to. So if you want to deny scouting, you put a couple of stalkers right here. And then this Overlord has to go in, not the one that's up here. They're scouting to see if they are doing something funny, see if they can get some information. For example, a Stargate in the wall, see if they're actually expanding, because they might have, you know, hidden a pylon up here and a bunch of gates, or a pylon over here and a whole bunch of gates, etc., etc. I'm not advocating like scouting for those things in those locations, but I understand exactly what this Zerg is doing. Wants to see the first unit, an Adept. The reason that they're going back in is because they know that if they go Adept first, that they're not going to be able to shoot up in any way, shape, or form. So this Overlord is completely safe, gets full information, all that good stuff. The other side of the map, the Zerg is expanding their creep. One of the things I commented in my most recent videos is placing the Queen on the outside of where the creep tumor is. Being 1 hex back makes a difference in your creep spread, but not phenomenally. The reason you do that is so that you can't get this sniped. That being said, they saw the first Adept come out. You don't have any worries about it. Just something to think about. Sees that they're getting a Stargate and that they're building an Oracle. You could see the Oracle with the graphics. You can see it right there. You see it like doing a little shimmery, shiny thing. And you saw him chrono. That means you know that you need to put down spores relatively soon. You can see he's already got one out. Should get another one here in the natural, and then as soon as this is up, one in the third, assuming you're going to go eco hard. You also should probably come back and check if they finish their wall, and if they have another flying unit that, or not a flying unit, another what they're doing over here, so that way you know that you can poke or cannot poke. and get a bunch of lings. This is a safe, quote-unquote safe build from from Protoss. The reason is the Oracle just completely destroys the lings, and lings can't shoot up, roaches can't shoot up, etc. The weakness in this is that if once that Oracle gets over here, if you have lings that start attacking the wall, and you have enough to get through an like the Cyber Core or the Gateway here, about 20 is the number, and the 1 or 2 adepts they have can't kill them, you could do a ton of damage. And they're going to run out of energy and all that kind of stuff. Ooh, that's an interesting way to do it. What they're doing is they're currently just trying to push creep back, which is not a bad idea. Basically, they're using their Revelation, killing off the creep and making it go back. The number of queens they have here, they need to go ahead and get that spore. Oh, they're going to get it. Nice. They need to also expand the creep back to the areas they lost it, so they need to put a couple tumors here. And as you can see, this is like receding very, very quickly. So you want to also get this back up really, really fast. This is important because you're really care about that. They're expanding. This is pretty normal timing. Again, they're being very safe. They want to, those oracles are going to make it so that's very hard for lings to kill things. That doesn't mean you can't test the the wall. Stalker spawning in. Overlord's just been chilling. This other Overlord in the back. You're going to lose this unintentionally. That's why I see some people like send it way over here, or send it in and then back as their queue. Because you always, it's better to like know what they're doing. Which you saw a Stalker, you saw 2 extra gates. You can assume they're going to probably do some kind of blink or something along those lines. You can see the army here. This Overlord's going to go down. You have plenty of oversupply. Great scout gives you an idea of how quickly they're going to attack. Looks like they're getting ready to power up for a 3-base attack. So you're going to get a lot of pressure here in about 2 minutes, maybe 3, minute and a half in that area. So more lings is a good call. I did see a bunch come out. That is not nearly enough. There's only 16 units plus the 3 queens. You need to increase your queen count. You need it to about, basically you just need to get 3 to 4 more queens, and you need to continue to just pump every ling ever. Once you get that scouting information, you knew it's time to go ahead and check that all out. I do like this, but he was smart enough to know that he didn't have any. All the queens over here? Okay, pause. Alright, what we see, we have 2 oracles, 2 adepts, who cares, and about 8 stalkers. As I said, you scouted, you saw what they had. You saw that they were building more gates, and you can assume that they have a little bit more down here and a little bit more army, right? So I'm going to say you have 2 choices. One, you could take half your lings and counterattack and ensure that they have something at home, and make sure you put additional pressure on their attention while you engage this. Basically, you have to do it at the same time. It's hard to do, and you don't have the stuff in position to do it yet. Your opponent has already expanded over here. And same concept, you can attack here with some lings and all that good stuff. Remember I said build more, build more, build more lings. Roaches and lings are all coming up. Cool. That's good. You're happy. You're going to take damage from this. The question is how much? I would immediately evacuate all of these drones, or use them in the defense, depending on how many lings you send on to the other side of the map. You did not build enough lings for this attack, so you can't really go across the map. Remember, that was option 1, where you can go across the map. Option 2, you don't have enough lings. You buy time. Get all your queens, all of them, every one of them, all these, right? All the 3 that are over here. Where did they go? Units. Where are your queens? You have 6 queens. There they are. Okay. You want all your queens. You want all your lings. You want all your reinforcements. And you want all these 9 roaches that are almost done, right? Because those 9 roaches, this is what Cyril's doing. These 9 roaches are going to save him. Right there. Your queens need to focus down one of, if not both, the oracles while they can, once they engage their beam. Right, the pulsar beam. The reason you want to focus those down is because those will kill all of your roaches that you're building right now, and you want to make sure that you also aren't in a situation where they can come and harass you with stuff. When you go for this engage, you need all of your drones, all of your lings, and all of your queens. This queen, as soon as they touch this creep out here, let's go back like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, okay? Because I know it's like they've walked on. All right, at this point you see this many stalkers. Uh-oh. Your army is not there. You don't have the roach count. You don't have the units. You don't have enough lings. You did a really good job pulling back. That was smart. I like it. You're in trouble. This base, you're going to throw away. Also, you have too many gases. You have 6 gas, and you're building roaches. You're too many. I digress. Point being is you're going to have a really hard fight to keep this base, and they're attacking right here. You don't want to lose any of these drones. Drones over here, or get ready to use them in the fight, because if they continue to pressure, you're in trouble. This alone should go alarm bells, alarm bells, alarm bells. Your opponent, he's going to continue increasing his income, all that kind of stuff, has an adept in the wall. Your counterattack would be okay because he doesn't have a shield battery. I wouldn't really... This is like exposed, but I don't know if I would really attack it. You saw how much army he had and all that kind of stuff, which was... He had this, and he was about half-ish, maybe a little bit past that on saturation about a minute ago. That's why I was like, hey, time to put up that army. Time to be ready, right? They're going to pressure you. Or be ready to pressure. So this was important to see. These gates coming up, you know that they're going to make a wall. There's your other gate. You know they have the Stargate, and they've been building oracles. You saw them the whole time. You don't know that these are here, right? But you do know that the pylon's here, and there's stuff going on. And so you should be ready for this attack. Basically, you took information with scouting, and you didn't build up enough army. You have 16 lings. You saw 3 stalkers and all that kind of stuff. You didn't position. I mean, this is actually really good scouting. I really love your defensive scouting. But you didn't do anything like, hey, is this guy moving out? Where's your ling here? Where's your ling here? Where's your ling here? Where's your ling? You don't really need a ling down here because you'd have seen it with this overlord. And I would have probably put this overlord like right here so that you have the creep covering this, but you're able to see the whole path. And honestly, your scouting is way better than mine. I probably would have instantly died to this, to be very fair. So this is a very hard hold. And you have enough money for more stuff. You have enough larva for more stuff. I think you were waiting for your Roachworn to finish, which is why... no, your Roachworn's about half. 40 seconds ago. You should have started building roaches as soon as this was up. You were a little bit greedy. This is fully saturated. You have too many gases. This expansion's fine. Your creep spread is fine. Yeah, this is... As soon as you saw this, time to pull all of your queens. 1 that's there, 2 that's there, 3 that's there. Get every army piece you can, and these queens all over here, which I think you did. This overseer ends up getting sniped, which, you know, whatever. So right now, you see this army. It's time to move all of your queens, all of them over here, every one of them. Actually, probably right here, honestly. Now that they're going that way, up here. Every one of your queens should be on the way. I do like the number of roaches, but you're too rich for your stuff. You don't have enough larva. It needs to be instantly spent. You need to get rid of that. Okay. So he clears it and goes back. I would take a ling, maybe 2. Oh, there you go. He's going back. Now you drone up again, get more queens, get your creep spread back out. Your creep spread's really good, right? Creep spread more. Continue, get more queens. Spend your money. Your grotesque Zerg you have 7 larvae and you have 700 resources. That should never 8. No, this is not good. You're basically out producing. You don't have enough larva production for the amount of money you have. So you need more. Yeah, see, I wouldn't have ever attacked with this. Your roaches are just sacked. Because he's going to kill all of them with oracles. Oracles are going to poop all over this. And the whole point of attacking was to make it so that he was distracted from this. These oracles will eventually kill this. I do like that. That's a good call. That's really annoying to do. Limit their supply, all that good stuff. But these, I don't know. Losing all these roaches is really bad. I would not have attacked. You were in a defensive posture and you proceeded to attack. I would have gotten this 4th base all up. I would have made it so that I have the proper response to a ball of stalkers versus attacking, right? I would have continued to get my creep back out there. By the way, your scouting is amazing. I would have set up run-bys like this, right? Why don't you poop creep? I would have... Okay. I love the run-by. Also, just queue, and if you're going to generate creep, just do it, right? Upgrades, what do we got? 1 attack, that's it. You need armor. Your opponent, your Zerg, you need armor. In addition, like 1/1 as a whole is really good. You don't have it. You have a lot of gas. Okay, so this is the issues that you're running into right now. Your economy is doing quite well, but your floating resources, it's not quite balanced because you grabbed too much gas over here. If you had flip-flopped this, because you had grabbed resources here, which makes more sense because Zerg is so mineral intensive, you would have been better off. Unless you're about to go mutas, which I know you're not. You're about to go Hydra. You have enough everything, like with regards to your tech. You're a little oversaturated. I'd probably fix this. Not a big deal, but if you had 9 workers over here getting minerals, you would be able to get your 5th base rather quickly. And you would have been able to keep your larva spend down. And you would have been able, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just little tiny things that you're losing. You're like, making mistakes. I do like the Ling run-by setup. I would have set it up here. As soon as you get attacked, you grab that Ling force, you go to the front. You want to make it so that your opponent cannot make the mistake of losing this wall. Losing, like, the defense here. And look, he still doesn't have a shield bat, right? If this army goes to attack you, and you have this army of Lings, I would have probably had a handful more. I like 2 rows is like the number I like. It's just 8. That's all. 8 eggs. And the second he just starts to get on creep, you just attack. And then as soon as you see anything else, you pull back, resupply it, get ready to do it again, set up another one on the other side so you have 2 different fronts with it. It's really good harass and all that kind of stuff. You need, Immortals is what I was going to say, but you're not Protoss. The Hydra army is the correct play. You have the Hydra Sten. It's halfway done, yet you have 0 Hydras. So you get your tech, you get the upgrades, or you start the upgrades, but you don't start building the units. And if you just have the units, because he's going to attack into you, you just need to make it so he thinks you have more army and the upgrade's already done. Because what you want to do is you want to make it so that he does not feel comfortable attacking you. And that would solve your problem. I would also put down your lurker den and try and head towards your hive. If you have this much gas, like if you have this imbalance right here going on. But if you have this in here, getting your more resources and all that kind of stuff, I don't know. That's hard to say because it's a theoretical and all that kind of stuff. All right, Lings are cool. I love them. Army's in an okay place. I would probably go a little bit more centralized and have your creep spread, your queens doing your thing. All right. So you now know he's in the middle, right? But we already knew that, right? Still, creep spread, reestablish, continue to grow it. The whole point of creep is to give you vision. Now that you're getting it, use it. Okay, if you had Hydras with this, these oracles are gone. Nice. Lane count, awesome. Where'd your other Lings go? It's because they ran into the army / storm. This is great. You're getting all kinds of damage done, all that kind of stuff. It's before storm. You're a little over eager, and your meat is gone. Not enough Lings in this army. So basically what happened, the reason you lost this game is because you attacked too early twice. You didn't max out. If you'd maxed out and then attacked with a little bit of a larva bank. Zerg, okay, the style that you're using is Serral. You could tell it's Serral. It's very obvious. The idea is basically you want to be defensive until you have that army that is unbeatable or too much for the Protoss to handle. So your attacks should be harass-oriented. It should be about 16 lings-ish. They should be going to places that you're scouting, that you know that they have stuff. Look, the army is already there. Go back and attack again. This should attack again. This, attack again. Awesome. But, like, this, you need... Like, if you had not lost that army, and you had just gotten all the Hydras with all those lings, other than the ones that you're attacking, this is exactly what you want. This should be A moved. Why are we moving? Why is this not attacking me? This was great. I like it. The point being, okay. Nighthawk. You killed yourself. Your opponent didn't kill you. You killed yourself. The units that you have here, you didn't A move. So that adept, he had it like sunk in, so only one link could attack at a time. You hit the A move right here, and what'll happen is your units will. Honestly, I don't know. That's a hard choice. The way I would have done it is I would have actually looked at this run by. This is a great run by. I love it. Perfect. You didn't do anything wrong here. I would have probably focused the cyber core, especially since you see how much he's loving his stalkers. And it's okay to lose those 16 lings to take the cyber core. And then get inside. If he recalls, pull away. Try again. Get some damage on it. This was good. This was exactly what you needed to do. A little later than I would have liked, but we're not GMs. You're not. It's really hard to do that. And then your positioning. Your positioning was okay. The only thing that really, really killed you was your attacks. You went out and were like, gung ho! And you lost the army, like, out here. Like, if this army stays home, and you just keep expanding your creep replacing the creep, you get your queen count up a little bit higher, right? Because you want, if you had the 6 queens, that were running around, spreading creep and getting more larva. Like, this larva saturation is low. Yeah, okay. Sorry, let's be very clear on the things that happened here. You're missing injects. You're not replacing your creep very quickly, right? You should have enough, you have enough queens that as soon as that creep goes down, that you should be doing it. You're attacking in ways that do not make sense. All right. Now you got your 2 stalkers. Go home. Nope. Nope. Don't fight this. You should have gone home. All the way home. Nope. All the way home. You see how big his army is. You see how big your army is. No. This is not a good attack. Okay? That's okay. Now is when you go home. It's okay to kill 1 or 2 units and then run. As soon as those lings are gone, you lose. And you didn't kill those oracles, you're going to lose even harder. Actually, those vials were amazing. And killing extra was pretty cool. But the point being is like, if you had that army... Okay. Let's go look at the unit count for both sides. This is a good snag, right? You get a couple of stalkers here. You don't need to do more than that. You get a zealot too, an adept, right? Having this fight right here, you're good. At this point, after you kill this little army, you go home. And you need to be right on top of getting on it. This needs to survive. All of this needs to survive, because he's going to blink on you. It doesn't need to survive the whole way back, right? If you lose these lings on your retreat, perfect. You have done exactly what you wanted to do. You killed expensive units. You're traded. You're trying to cover up that trade advantage. Let's go ahead and look at like prior and post trade, right? So it's about 1,000 gap, and then after, it was about, you lost those lings. That's what happened there. Right? Why would you? Those lings didn't need to. I don't know. Getting him to get an Archon, it's pretty cool for him. He doesn't have anything over here again, and he doesn't have a shield bat again. I know it's God's eye, right? I get to see everything. I'm saying that you didn't pressure his front enough to make him ever feel like he needed to put a shield battery down. That's what I'm trying to communicate. And if those handful of lings that you lost over here were attacking here and you didn't lose all of them, right? Look at our losses. It's a 2,000 point gap. This is a great fight for you. Okay, this was smart. I like the pullback. I don't love it because I'm a little bit more aggressive, but look at this. You covered up that gap. You covered up the loss that you had. And imagine if you didn't lose those lings, right? If those lings didn't all die over here, instead they were over here being annoying as hell still, this gap doesn't exist anymore. You've fought your way back. And if you take this army after getting that nice surround right here, and I know it's like review, hindsight's 2020, yada, 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 right? Okay? If you had taken this army and retreated with this many of lings, and you're producing army at home, 56 lings, you have the force to kill this player. He doesn't have the right unit comp to deal with that many lings. You have the ability to run by and all that kind of stuff. So at this point, this very moment, you know you've built army. A lot of lings. And you know you're going to kill this army if you get those lings out with roaches and the couple Ravengers you have. You know it. And then you know that on your next round of larva, which you only have one, good job spending larva, you're going to build Hydras because you're getting your upgrades and you're aware of it. The things that I would focus on right this second is getting this army home and continuing to make sure my injects are perfect. Your injects are not perfect. I'm not a GM. The difference between you getting to a GM and not being a GM is getting your injects better. Hey, look. No inject, no inject, no inject, no inject, no inject. Gotta be on top of your production. Zerg is not like the other races. You have to micro your production by getting the larvae you need. Your queens in your bases should never have more than 50 energy unless you know it's some kind of like sky drop-in thing. And the 6 queens or even 3 queens that you have running around should only have enough for a transfuse a piece, the 50 that are needed, and everything else should be used on creep. Your opponent has done a really good job of pushing your creep back. And honestly, I criticized this attack. I didn't think it was the right move. Because you know he has oracles and you don't have any ways to kill it. He's gonna kill your army. If this army never leaves and you only do harass stuff, yeah, you're behind by 1,600 resources, but the income right now is 3K, 1K. Get more workers. Go to 85, 86. Get your 5th. Go to the late game. His army, look at his army. If you get lurkers, he's just screwed. You get a Hydras, his army's screwed. Yeah, he's going to get storms. Fair. We know that. So get your Ultra. Right? He doesn't have any robo facilities. Your lair is not a hive. It's 8.5 minutes. Which, hive at 9 minutes is early, 10 minutes is a little early. But your 5th base is missing at this point. You're not saturating your 4th. You're not getting your 5th. You're not getting your Infestor Pit to go up so you can get 3/3. You don't have any ground upgrades, right? Lings with armor and 2/2 or 2/2 lings with are just wild as hell to deal with this army. Like, you saw the army, you know what he's doing, all that kind of stuff, and then you didn't get the proper unit composition and stuff. Ooh, rough. Also, if you're going to do the Baneling train, you've attacked the front. You know he only has an adept there. You know he doesn't have a shield bat right there. If you had gone with these here instead, this entire line is blown up. He's forced to attack into you. This entire army can just sit back, and you're up a base of income basically for the rest of the game. I didn't know these were Banes. That's my bad for not like looking and checking. Also, creep, like, if you're gonna put them there, just do the creep there anyways. Like, make it so that this is annoying, delay them further, cause them headaches, be annoying. Your job as your, I think it's Dark, said that what he does is he builds his strategies around being annoying to his opponents. I don't know for sure that's the person, but like, think about what things, if you're Protoss, what things would piss you off and make you hate life? Run-bys, right? Creep on every base that you're going to expand to every single time. A burrowed ling at every base that you have to expand to. He doesn't have a robo, man. Imagine how annoying it would be to take these 2 oracles and have to send them over here after you clear the creep to not be able to build your base because there's a ling underneath this. And you know what? That costs you 25 minerals. What does that cost him? A ton of a ridiculous amount of time. And time is one of the most valuable resources in the game. Right? And he's not expecting it. So he's not going to like clear it and be like, oh, I'm going to just build a thing. Right? Like he's it's like, clear the creep. I got to wait for the creep. This sucks. Oh my God, it takes fucking forever. Oh, the creep's gone. Let me put my building down. What? Right? Like, that's so annoying. If you just, like, you could totally just destroy this guy's mental mentality in his game. He'd be like, the whole game. This idea was I do like this idea. I just think it should have been over here. I think you should have gone right for the income that is in this protected hole, because this is his most forward base. He's going to have his army there. You saw that when you had your overlord come over it, he immediately responded earlier on the game. Like, great idea. Perfect idea. I love it. But it should have been here. Because then he's in a situation where he loses a good amount of income that is very important. You have the accidental I killed the cyber core, which the dude's building only stalkers, right? Like, you can cause a lot of headaches if you had gone this way. All right. So point being is, like, and then this army moving out and going to defend and all that kind of stuff, like, you need to re-creep spread and you need to have your command kill this. This was really good of him. I personally, man, this is such a hard call. I like that pullback. This, they don't have the attack failed. You don't know how much it did. I didn't know how much it did. But, like, you're attacking. You need to attack in 2 places, right? This army is attacking in the same place that those Banes went. And you didn't have the army to kill anything with the Banes, right? But, like, as soon as you sell this, you sell the Archon, this is runaway time. This is like, oh, crud. Go home. Wait until I have more Lings. Wait until I have my Hydras, because the Hydras are going to counter the Archon. All right. Let's do the good, the bad, the ugly. All right, the good. I can't play music for anything. That's the good. Oh, look, I'm sweating. Actually, I am sweating, but it's not as bad. It's just the shadows. That was fun, right? So what? Let's go. Let's like recap here. Your build order was great. You did a good job of putting your army in the right place. Your creep spread was pretty awesome. A little slow on the recreep, but pretty awesome. You had really good scouting. These 4 things are hard to do. You can get to Masters or GM with these 4 things that you're doing. Number 5. Your income, your macro structure was good. All right. Bad. Your injects sucked. They just did. You didn't take the information you gathered and used it to your advantage. I didn't. Every time I was like, attack the front door. Attack the front door. attacked the front door. You attacked it one time. You found out that he didn't have any real defensive capabilities there. And you didn't take any advantage of that information. You found out that he had an army and then he was building up gates, and that he was a little less than fully saturated in a time where he should have been a little bit less than fully saturated for an attack. And you didn't build up army for it. You just didn't do it. And he didn't pull the trigger. To be fair, he didn't pull the trigger right away and attack you full out. But, yeah. You didn't transfer drones / get ready to use them as a defense. I think you did. That's why you pulled back. But, like, I didn't ever see you pull them, and you weren't really ever there to, like, do that. But the point is like, don't forget that your drones can be used as a meat shield for that defense to make it so you survive if they had actually pushed in. And make sure all of your queens, all of them from all of your bases, are in the right place. Your balancing, I know I should probably do this, right? Your balance on income is a little off. You got your gases too early, that kind of thing. You built the tech, you didn't build the units, right? You had Hydroden done, but you had no Hydralisks for like 3 minutes. Like, your first Hydralisks were after the game was already over, essentially, and your opponent was going Sky. Just a slight imbalance on how you were putting together the unit composition, right? Like, you built the Hydra Den, you started the upgrades, you didn't queue any Hydra. You're investing so much into it, and you don't have the army to go with it. You were annoying, but not annoying. Like, you were like, I had the good thought process of being annoying, but you weren't annoying enough. Basically, you have creep. You could poop creep with all of your overlords on all of the bases just to slow them down. Take it to the next level. You had extra gas. Your mineral income was solid enough. Burrow lings in every one of their bases. You didn't prepare for the next stage. Like, you didn't send the drones that you have to the newest base when you were oversaturated. Like, you just didn't do it. And your saturation, again, your resource mix was a little off. We talked about that, and that's where some of it's coming from. Remember to expand after attacking, or be ready to just parade push until the game is over. Those are your two choices. You didn't do either. That being said, you shouldn't have attacked when you attacked, right? Your attacks were questionable, so we're on 8 bad things. Your attacks were actually, I don't mind your attacks. Your attacks were pretty good. The problem is you didn't pull back appropriately. That pullback would have been the difference between the win and the loss, or at least extending the game to make it so you could have taken the L, or not the L, taken the W. You're not maxing out before you do your attacks, right? The whole point of the build that you're following with 66 workers, doing the thing that they put together, the defense that you were following with Cyril, is you want to get to late game. Your objective as Zerg in the matchup that you had was to get to the late game. And you attacked them over several times. And I'm not talking like a run by attack. I'm talking like get off creep, chase down their units, try to break their base attack. And you didn't ever have anything for the oracles the whole time. You were doomed to fail. You needed those hydras out that I was talking about earlier to make those attacks. The ugly. You took an L. Your injects were really, really bad. Like, there was multiple times in that game that you just had more than 10-second gap in injects. You had stacked up extra energy all over the place. You had extra income sitting there. Basically, you clean up those injects, you're going to have an extra 10 plus units. Those 10 plus units are your run by or enough to completely crush that army, and you win, right? If you had taken the floating resources and put them in a Hydra with the larva that you would have had you been on top of your injects the whole game, you would have just won. That attack at the end that I was like, oh, you shouldn't have attacked here. I would have been like, no, go. Get in his face, kill him. You would have been able to kill him. I'm going to read, the ugly is you truly didn't use the information you gathered. I know that it's hard. I'm fully aware that the information you gathered to make those make those leaps of logic to your opponent is really hard. I'm not discounting that in any way, shape, or form. But it's like, you see something, you didn't do anything with it. You see something, you didn't do anything with it. You see something, you didn't do anything with it. You see something, you didn't do anything with it, etc. If you had, like, there are so many opportunities in this game for you to have won or to have severely hampered your opponent, and you just didn't quite. It just never got to the point where you got it right. So I appreciate you submitting and trying to get feedback and understand what's going on. And I know that it's tough, and it's a 10-minute game that we literally have gone through basically 3 times at this point. And I didn't really talk about the Protoss at all. The Protoss did a really good job of being in the right place, right time. He looked really strong in a lot of ways. He was very smart in a lot of ways. He took advantage of every mistake you could have made. And honestly, other than him floating a crap ton of resources and not necessarily like being really, really on top of their like upgrades and things, they did really well. Like they could fix those handful of things. They could go really far, really fast. And I think that they're not analyzing their losses, which is why they're the way they are, right? Where they are ranking-wise. They could probably go very far. That being said, you could too. You're really close to like going to Masters, if not going low GM. Just a little bit of effort here and there, a little touch here and there. But yeah, good game. Thank you for watching again. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I look forward to seeing your eventual clawback of the 700 MMR that you have unfortunately lost, according to yourself. So, thanks for being here. Bye-bye.